Hey guys, I hope you're having a great night. So, as promised, I'm going to start doing my spooky stuff. Oh, I found this online. It's actually from Reader's Digest, believe it or not. I remember those books. I used to pick them up when I was in the doctor's office, acting all cool like I can actually read them, when all I did was look at the pictures. But anyways, they've got some great true stories here that happened on Halloween. I figured I'm going to read these. These will be amazing. Okay, this one is titled The Architect's Key. There was once a man named Edward who designed and built his own perfect house. He lived in it for many years until he eventually passed away. A new family moved in, but whenever they went to the basement, where Edward's personal study had been, they would get the feeling that someone was watching them. One day, the father of the new family decided to fix up an old jacket, which as every tailor in town had told him was beyond repair. So he went down to the old study, laid his jacket on a chair, and then tried to see if there was anything in the old desk that could help him mend it. But the drawers were all locked, and he couldn't find a key anywhere. The next morning, he came back down to find the key on the desk, all the drawers open, and his jacket completely fixed. They actually have tags down here too, as well. As you can see, it says here's more haunted house mysteries no one can explain. I'll go into those tomorrow. A mother's love. Some people actively go out looking for ghost encounters, and every once in a while, they find one. When Kevin was a teenager, he and his friends had heard about a dangerous turn on the nearby highway that caused many accidents over the years. It was now haunted. The most well-known story was of a mother who took her own life after her son had crashed his car and died there. It was said around town that her ghost remained at the deadly turn to protect people from ending up like her deceased son. Kevin and his friends decided to put that theory to the test. Oh boy. At night, Kevin drove his friends out to the highway. When the group of boys arrived at the turn, they pulled over. They'd brought a bag of flour with them. Oh, I know this one. This one is so true. I've seen it on YouTube. Oh my gosh, it's this one? Okay. I'll have to get you guys to watch the video with me. So they brought a bag of flour with them and proceeded to sprinkle the white powder on the road, the grass, and the car. The idea was to get footprints to move that the ghost was indeed real. The boys hopped back in and began to take the car around the turn. Kevin accelerated faster and faster, then thump. The car came to an abrupt halt as if someone had slammed down on it with their two hands. They immediately got out of the car and saw two women-sized handprints in the white flour on the hood. That's so cute. Cute. Not cute. It's not the word I'm looking for. That is creepy. But there's also another one at a train tracks where these children had passed. And so the rumor has it, or the story goes, these children had passed. So when you come to the train crossing, if you're even a little bit like touching the railway, if you put flour all over your car like this person did, you will actually be pushed over the tracks out of harm's way, and you will see the children's little handprints. Yeah. So this one's a little different. The Ghost in the Hall. 4 young women moved into an old New England apartment together. You know, the type with squeaky floorboards and a long, dark hallway. A month after they moved in, one of the roommates realized that her favorite stuffed teddy bear was missing. The others all said they hadn't touched it or seen it. Weeks went by, and she almost forgot about her teddy when something strange happened. She opened the door to one of the closets they hardly ever used, and there on the top shelf sat her furry friend. All her roommates swore they had no idea how it happened. Now, whenever the teddy bear goes missing for a few days, she knows exactly where to find it. The apartment probably had all these other signs of being haunted too. A Voice in the Desert. 2 young men in their 20s, Josh and Dan, went on a camping trip together in the desert in New Mexico. They didn't take much with them besides sleeping bags, food, and materials for a fire. After they cooked their dinner, they fell asleep and they gazed up into the starry night sky. The beauty and peace of the trip were short-lived. However, in the early hours of the morning, Josh was startled awake by what sounded like Dan's voice, but frantic. The voice said, "Come here, look, quick!" Sleepy and confused, Josh got up to see what his friend was talking about. He heard again, "Come here, quick, look." It sounded unnatural, a perfect repetition. Josh took a few steps forward, and then someone grabbed him from behind. He turned around to see Dan with his finger in front of his mouth. Warning Josh to keep quiet, they rolled up their sleeping bags and left. They still don't know who or what was trying to lure Josh away into the desert. Freaked out by this spooky story? These hilarious Halloween memes will calm you. Okay, we'll have to check this out tomorrow. Echoes of the Past. A young bachelor at the beginning of his career became very successful very quickly, so he bought himself a house. One morning, he awoke to the sound of running water. He rushed to the bathroom and saw that the bathtub faucet was running on full blast. He was perturbed by this, as he lived alone. A week later, it happened again, only this time, it wasn't just one faucet. It was all the faucets in the house. That's creepy. The young man called a repairman to fix the pipes and the water damage, but as it turned out, the pipes weren't broken. The repairman, a local, seemed visibly shaken. "What's wrong?" the bachelor asked. "The woman who lived here before you," said the repairman, "she drowned in that bathtub." The ghosts of drowned victims linger in these haunted bodies of water. So there's even that to look forward to. So I'll read all these stories and tomorrow we'll go through it. I love stuff like this. No one steals twice. Jen went to the same convenience store every day after school for a snack. One time she became good friends with the cashier, Lucy. Out of curiosity, one day Jen asked Lucy how she would stop someone if they tried to steal from the store. Lucy replied, "Oh, no one ever steals anything from here twice. The store won't let them." Jen didn't know what that meant, but dropped the subject. When she went back to the store at the start of the next school week, Jen walked in to find Lucy talking to some cops. Apparently a man stole from the store and drove off, but his brakes mysteriously failed and his car went soaring off a cliff. The cops asked Lucy if she knew what happened. "No," she said. "I was stalking the back room. I didn't even know he'd come in." No one ever steals twice. Wow. If you're looking for spooky stories that are a little less creepy, these Disney Halloween movies might be your speed. When the Candle Burns. 3 little girls were having a sleepover one night when they decided to hold a seance. Ugh, why do you girls do this? One of the girls, Clara, recently lost her grandpa and wanted to see if she could commune with the spirit. 3 girls gathered some candles and a few items that belonged to the late grandfather: his watch, his cigar case, and a photograph of him. The girls held their hands and started the seance. Suddenly, the candles began to flicker, and the hands on the watch began to spin. Clara was sure it was her grandpa. Elated, she began to talk to him and ask him questions. When all of a sudden, one of the candles flew as if some invisible force and almost hit her head. Grandpa would never do that, she said. Shaking, she was right. It wasn't her grandfather, and whomever it was clearly did not like being disturbed. That's why you should always be careful when summoning spirits or using a Ouija board. I concur. Yes, absolutely. The Curse of the Eldest Son. India's parents came to the United States from Pakistan. Both they were married. India's father was engaged to someone else. It was an arranged marriage, and the prospect made him unhappy. So he broke it off. Oh, I've heard, not this story particularly, but I've heard of this, that they do that in their culture. So sad. The woman went off the deep end. There were rumors in town that she had started using black magic. She even ran right up to him in the street one day, screaming, and she had to put a curse on his eldest son so that he would die before he reached manhood. In fact, Inya's older brother, the eldest son, died in a car crash on his 18th birthday. The uninvited party guest. One night, a group of adults was having a dinner party. There were 6 of them, and they had all just taken their seats when they heard an unexpected knock at the door. The woman host of the dinner party opened the door to see who it was possibly be, but no one was there. Somebody must have realized they had the wrong address. She explained to her guests, but when they all turned their attention back to the table, there was a 7th plate. "Was that there before?" one of the men asked. I must have said an extra place by mistake," said the hostess. She took it back to the kitchen, but when she returned, another plate was there, this time with a glass next to it. The other guests had been talking among themselves and hadn't seen anything strange, but when they realized what had happened, they were shocked and didn't know what to do. At this point, they figured the best strategy was to play along, so they filled the empty glass and plate so as to not upset their mysterious uninvited guest. Well, you might not get your very own ghost to show up. These Halloween party ideas. After hours. It was 9 o'clock. Time for the store to close. Valerie, Ginny, and Kelly were the only ones working. As they were cleaning up the store, a pile of shirts fell to the floor. None of the girls had touched them. "It's probably the ghost," Ginny said. "Very funny," said Kelly. "No, really," Valerie replied. "He's a little boy. He likes to play." Kelly still didn't take them seriously, though. She thought they were teasing her because she was younger. When she went into the back room to get her keys to go home, she saw a flash of a young boy in the mirror next to her. When she looked back, her keys had been placed on the floor. Kind of reminds me of Deb's ghost, Super Snoops. She's got a little boy as well. And he likes flashlights, so she'll leave it out and he can turn it on and off. That's how he answers questions. And he likes to steal pens and knock over her pens in her cup. Yeah, he loves doing that. Let me see how much longer this is. Okay. Wow. Wow. Where are you going? There we go. All right, I'll read one more. The Lonely Ferris Wheel. The carnival came to town every summer, and this year was no different. But Charlie had just started working there, so he didn't know what the rest of the workers knew about the Ferris wheel he was in charge of operating. The first night of the carnival was bustling with people, but as it came to close, it was practically a ghost town. However, there was one boy who showed up at the last minute. One for the Ferris wheel, please, the boy said, giving Charlie a ticket. Charlie looked around. Where's your parents? He asked the little boy. The boy just The boy just took his seat and didn't answer, unsure of what to do. He let the boy go on the ride, but when the ride was over, the boy was no longer in his seat. Charlie ran to his boss to tell him the story. The boss casually said, "Oh, that's Thomas." He handed Charlie a clipping from an old newspaper. It had the boy's picture and the headline, "Boy falls from Ferris wheel, 8 years old." That is horrible. Ooh, we're going to have to look at this. They're the most haunted places in America. But for now, I'll read some more with The Laundry Thief. And then when we get into the other things, we'll have to go live because I love this stuff. All right, you guys have a great night, and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be reading more tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.